The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Oko, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by
Welcome
choice.
to the third hour of Kenya's biggest conversation. This is a Situation Room, broadcasting on Spice FM, on KTN Home, live streaming the show on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, www.spicefm.co.ke. We normally broadcast from the Standard Group Center in Nairobi. Today, we are at the Crystal River Mall and Residence, which is in Mavoko constituency, which is in Machakos County. So we are out on location. And what you see behind us is the beautiful Crystal River's residences. Okay, beautiful homes, and we're telling you about the 3-bedroom townhouses. There are 4-bedroom townhouses. There are 3-bedroom apartments, and there's a state-of-the-art mall. We'll be talking more about it, joined by two people who know more about the estate and the developer, and of course the development in this particular region. What you have around, where can you get a hospital nearby, where can you get a school nearby, where can you get water, where is the electricity coming from? All those questions will be asked and answered. C.T. Muga has the day's proverb. Meanwhile, Waziri wa Methali.
I do. We're still the country of Niger, not pronounced Niger. Niger is the river in Nigeria, and Niger State is also the state in Nigeria. Niger, former French colony. When there are no trees left, birds will perch on people's heads. That's the proverb.
When there are no trees left, birds will perch on people's heads.
Now, trees by their very nature don't left themselves, okay? They tend to be cut down. So when you cut down trees willy-nilly, hapa, there and here.
Humble.
Yeah, precisely. That is precisely what happens. Forget the greenhouse effect and weather change effect. What is that other thing called?
That one you said.
Yes, this climate change, not weather change. Yes, I knew it has something to do with the change of the weather.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Birds perch on people's heads.
Birds tend to perch on trees, and if there are no trees to perch on, they'll look for an object that they can perch on.
Yeah.
The head is not a bad spot.
Okay.
Yes.
There are trees left around this area of Crystal
Plenty,
Rivers
and I can see them planting even more.
Mall and residence. There are trees. There are trees that are actually also being planted. There's a whole lot of greenery going on and greening of the estate that's taking place. Of course, you have to expect that when you have a new development, and some trees have to come down and others have to remain. And when people move in, the first thing that they want to do is they want to green their space. So people come and plant trees, people come and plant flowers, and they're doing hedges, and it's already looking beautiful. Anyway, let's welcome our guest this morning. Judy Muiruri is a sales and marketing manager at Crystal River's Mall and Residences, while Moses Kemibaro is a founder and CEO of Dotsavvy. We want to talk about real estate development for fine living. Judy, good morning.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Kenya's biggest conversation. Welcome us to Crystal Rivers.
Oh, we're nice.
No, you are the one to welcome us now to Crystal Rivers Mall and Residences.
Karibuni sana to Crystal Rivers Mall and Residences. The crew of Spice FM and the nation at large, Karibuni sana. We are live on location. As you can see behind me, this is what we are selling.
Behind you is the location. Okay.
Yeah.
Moses Kemibaro, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Kenya's biggest conversation.
Thank you very much. And it's nice to be with you, Eric, once again after a long time.
Many years, man.
It has been.
Yeah.
It has been.
Huh? You know, you're getting closer to CT. Last time we were together, we were age mates.
Oh, wow.
It's the beard. It's the beard.
Eric, I would have you know, I've known this gentleman longer than you have. Just
See?
so that we can set the record straight.
Were you age mates then?
No.
Now
No.
you are.
I was an older man. I still am an older man. Yes. In fact, I'm a really older man now.
No. CT, you're still young. Oh, come on.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Come on, CT. Come on. So we also have a camera that's actually doing the roaming, getting into the house and showing you the house and the interior of the houses. Judy, of course, will be telling us about the various sizes of the houses, the various amenities within the houses. You have the 3-bedroom townhouses, 56 of them, Judy, right?
Yes.
And then we have 4-bedroom townhouses. How many? 82?
Yes.
82 4-bedroom
Four-bedroom.
townhouses. We also have apartments, 260 3-bedroom apartments. Of course, when you talk about all these things, there's the difference in size in terms of plinth area, square meters, and square feet per house. You'll tell us more about that as well. But let's just start from the very beginning. Who's the developer of this estate?
Okay, this estate was done by Safaricom Pension Scheme, and it was a visionary to create a timeless community with all in-house amenities, including a mall, one of a kind, only on this Mombasa Machakos highway. Yeah.
Why Safaricom staff pension? What made them decide to go into real estate? I mean, they are a staff pension scheme.
Diversification, yes, so that apart from even their members enjoying such a wonderful product, the public can also get to have a piece of this wonderful real estate, a place they can live in and enjoy close to work. As you're aware right now, there are a lot of industries that have moved on this side. There are a lot of corporates on this side. So yeah, it serves as it's such a convenience to for not only the staff to enjoy the benefit of this, but also the public to get to enjoy the same. Yeah.
Okay, so coming into this part of, so obviously in Machakos County, but still a dormitory town of Nairobi. So just walk us through some of the things that are available, because obviously issues come in. Is there water? Is there sanitation system? All of this that have been perennial issues for others in the area. What can people be assured of coming into this space?
Okay. We are actually selling the concept of the future of fine living. And by that, we mean that fine living doesn't really have to be expensive, or we want to, when we narrow down into the concept of future fine living, is because this community, and not, we just don't consider it as a residence but as a community. We are offering the state-of-the-art mall, which has a residents only access. We have a swimming pool, water, we have 2 boreholes and a council water, in-house kindergarten. We have a generator for backup. Our apartments, although 5 floors up, they have lifts. Yeah, and the security here is amazing. The property, the boundary, we have a boundary wall with an electric fencing, razor wire. So those are some of the things that one gets to enjoy that we are offering in this property, unlike many other. Yeah.
Those obvious questions that people ask. So is it connected to a trunk sewer, or are you managing your own sewerage? Is there access to water? What's the source of the water? Is it municipal water? Is it borehole water? Or is it bowsers on a daily basis? Every day at 5 p.m. mkuja nje na mtungi tulete maji. Let's start with the obvious, the most direct one, water. What's your source of water?
City Council, Mavasco, and borehole as backup.
So there's Mavasco. Mavasco is the Mavoko Water and Sewerage Company.
Yes. So
it supplies, and there's a constant supply of water. Or is it a regular supply?
Yes. Currently, it's at least 3 times a week, but we are getting into regularizing it. By the time there'll be more occupation, that will be flowing, and we also have 2 boreholes as backup, and we also have water tanks for storage.
Borehole. There are people who will actually tell you that around this area of Mavoko, there's salinity as a concern. So is there treatment of the borehole water?
Yes, they have a filtration system. Yes.
And also does the desalination?
Yes.
Okay. So inside the house or one central?
One central.
Okay. Then the
The
second
borehole.
the second bit of the issue is on sewer. So what's the sewer system like? How do you handle sewer? Is there a biodigester, or are you connecting to the trunk sewer that is managed by Mavwasco again?
Yes, actually we do have a biodigester treatment plant. Yes, that's currently working very well for us. Yeah. So that's not a major concern.
All right. We'll talk more about the estate, of course, and you'll give us the details, the nitty-gritties. Moses,
Yes.
Dotsavvy and this Crystal Rivers Mall and Residences, how are they connected?
So Dotsavvy is working in partnership with an organization called the BSD Group. We are consortia that were selected to work on this engagement to try and amplify and create visibility around Crystal Rivers. As you know, it's a very exciting development. It's one of the few that you'll find in the country that's a mixed development with the mall and all these extensive housing options that are available. So over the last 4 or 5 months, we've been working very closely with the team and Judy to ensure that people are aware of what we are doing here, what is available to them. We're looking at reaching audiences not just in Kenya, but globally through various digital platforms. We have a website at crystalrivers.co.ke that provides things such as virtual tours, detailed information, fact sheets on what is available here. And more importantly, we provide a point of reference that people can find online that allows them across all the different social media to understand and appreciate what is available here at Crystal Rivers for them. We see also a very, very big opportunity with the diaspora segments. We are reaching, people in North America. We have inquiries coming from the UK. You may know Saudi Arabia is now, I think, the third largest remittance market to this country. So you can start to see the opportunities for Kenyans in the diaspora to invest in such a secure and practical real estate opportunity.
If you were to give a snapshot of that, and let's say that you are talking, because I think also just before you go into like some of the other nitty-gritty of what's available here, the diaspora has come into this conversation in terms of investment in the country. I mean, over the last few years. So, what is available here? What is available in terms of an investment? What would you really be investing in at Crystal River?
I think when you look at the way Crystal Rivers is set up, it's quite unique. And I think Judy talked about some of the salient points. But the fact that you have this fantastic infrastructure, the water sources, we have up to 3 different ways of getting water here. It's very secure. You have the recreational facilities like the swimming pool and the clubhouse. And then, of course, you're attached to a mall, which means you have access to the supermarkets, you have all the gyms and other facilities that will be coming on stream by the end of the year. And suddenly we find a scenario where basically if I was investing in this location, I know that, for instance, that the prices of the investment are going to remain strong. The proximity it has to schools and other facilities within Athi River and this area is close. You have the SGR, you have the airport, so you have flying in from North America. I jump in a Uber and I'm here within 10-15 minutes. All these conveniences I don't think exist in any other kind of real estate development on this particular portion of sort of the Nairobi and the peri-urban aspects of Athi River. So I think it's quite unique in the sense that it's so much value, so much convenience, so much capability within one location, that it just seems to me that this would be a unique investment opportunity that has so many value adds that you typically don't get in some of the other locations in this area.
Whenever one hears of developments such as this one, the thing that is preeminent in the advertising is the buying aspect. Now, when you say buying, what options do you have for people who wish to buy? I haven't gone into renting. I'm just talking about buying first. I'll be coming to renting later. But for now, what options do you have for somebody who wishes to buy?
Okay.
Judy, you can take that.
Yes. We have 3 types of properties here. We have apartments. They're all 3-bedroom apartments, master and suite. We have now the 3-bedroom townhouses, and we have the 4-bedroom townhouses. The 3-bedroom townhouses being all en suite with a DSQ, and the 4-bedroom 2 en suite, 2 shared with a DSQ. Yes.
Okay.
These are the options we have.
Okay, now, I want to pay, okay? there's this business I'm doing and they've paid me a lot of money and most of it is in cash. Okay? Can I just come with a pickup full of cash and tell you, this one you've told me is how many million? Okay. If you have 10 people counting, you'll find I brought you that 11 million.
Yeah.
Or if, say, for instance, I say, look, I don't really have that 11 million, but I have 11,000. Now, is it possible for me to live in that house? And as I'm paying rent, I'm also paying for it. These are the options that I'm thinking of.
Yes.
What do you have in place that gives people that diversity and the element of option when it comes to actually paying for the acquisition of the property?
Okay. Currently, we do not have a rent to own option.
Ooh-wee.
However, we do have, our prices are quite good. What we are offering in this area, plus what the property is coming with, the prices are spot on. And we are offering you different payment plan options. One is a cash option, where you get to do your 10% deposit and the balance within 60 days, but this has to be transacted through the bank. And then the second option is a mortgage option, where you also get to do a 10% deposit, and then we've partnered with a couple of banks to give us fantastic mortgage rates for our clients. And the third option is an installment option, where you get to do your 10% deposit and then the balance we spread it within a period of 1 year.
I can't pay a 50% deposit if I have.
You can. More than
You can
welcome
even
to
pay
do that.
100%
You can
deposit.
even pay 100%.
Or 99% deposit.
10% is the bare minimum.
Minimum capital,
Yes.
5%.
You can
Yes.
do a 99% deposit, and then on the final day, Judy,
On day
I feel like I
365.
can just give you the final.
How much is it? 5,000 shillings.
Tusisumbuane.
Tusisumbuane. It's coming up to 25 minutes after 8. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. This is the Situation Room, live on Spice FM and KTN Home, coming to you live from Crystal River Mall and Residences in Athi River, right by the Athi River itself at the bridge. As you're heading towards Mombasa, it's on the left. It's that beautiful mall that you see. It's been under construction for a couple of years. It's complete. Now they're doing the renting and the leasing, getting the tenants in, and then the residences are behind that mall. There are several houses up for sale, and Judy will be telling us more about that. Judy Muiruri is a sales and marketing manager for Crystal River Mall and Residences. Moses Kemibaro is a former and CEO of Dotsavvy, a marketing agency that is actually also dealing with promoting these estates and creating more and more awareness, especially dealing with those that are living in the diaspora. Remember, the former governor of this county is now the what? Yeah, like that. Diaspora Waziri. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back shortly, reminding you about Showmax County 49. This is County 12. County 49.
County 49 is a fictional county, of course, in the breadbasket of Kenya. But what it does is that it offers you a look into how communities live with their leadership and what they're demanding of their leadership. Really interesting stuff. Today is the day that episode 5 drops on Showmax, and you can get all this for 760 shillings per month. This and other great programming just on Showmax.
How about that break? We'll be back shortly.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself.
Crystal River's Mall is in Athi River. Crystal River's residences are behind the Crystal River's Mall in Athi River. So jointly, they're called the Crystal River's Mall and Residences. Beautiful townhouses and beautiful apartments and a beautiful estate right here in Athi River. Very, very accessible from whatever side you're coming from. It's right by the roadside off the main highway to Mombasa. It's an expressway that comes to Mlolongo. It's a dual carriageway that goes all the way to Machakos Junction. So if you're thinking about traffic, no traffic issues. If you're thinking about accessibility from other quarters, there's the SGR, there's the commuter rail station, there's a train station for commuter rail at Syokimau, there's another one in Athi River, there's the SGR station in Athi River, there's the SGR terminus in Syokimau. So it's accessibility defined, and that's why we are here today at the Situation Room with Judy Muiruri, Sales and Marketing Manager, Crystal Rivers Mall and Residences, and Moses Kemibaro from Dotsavvy, who are doing the communication and marketing for this particular estate. Judy, you are giving us the various amenities that are here. People, when they're going to buy a house, they'll think accessibility, which is what I've just dealt with. We remove that. It's accessible. There's nothing about, is there a rough road between? No, there's no rough roads between the highway and the estate. It's basically the road is sorted, it's right off the highway, right? Issues of security sorted, perimeter wall and all. Now, the other things that people start thinking about is, I'm coming here with a family. Most people now will have a young family. So, schools, hospitals, access to other amenities like shopping and the rest. Let's start with schools.
All right. In the property, we have an in-house kindergarten that's coming up. That one, at least for the young families that have kids in the early years stages, they'll be sorted within this community. And in the neighborhood, we also have, not far from here, other schools like Nova Pioneer, Kitengela International, and the likes, just within this great community.
So Nova Pioneer is just within here, right?
Yes.
It's actually not far from here.
No.
Kitengela International, like you say, is just up the road into Kitengela.
They're all about 10-15 minutes distance from this community.
Right. And there are other schools as well.
There are other
so
schools
there are
as well.
choices.
Yes, there are many choices, yes.
Offering different curricula. Because now
Curriculums.
people also think about the curricula. Is it CBC? Is it a British system? Is it...
Yeah, CBC mostly. CBC, yeah.
Okay. How about hospitals?
Hospitals also, between here and Kitengela, and just along Athi River, we have some facilities, some medical facilities, and even in the mall, there'll be upcoming medical facilities right here at our mall. Yeah.
I want
And
to ask
pharmacies.
something about the mall. I think I misheard you. Did you say that the mall will only be open to the residents?
No. The mall will be
Open for everyone.
for everybody.
So I don't have to live here to access the mall.
Well, the residents have their own access to the mall in terms of access, but the mall is open to both the public and the
public.
residents. Yes.
And so if I live here, will I get special rates at the mall?
Card carrying member.
Yes, I live here. Yes.
We can look into that.
Yes. I'm just thinking, because they're a member.
Any member.
Yes, you're a member. But there's something else. When this mall was being thought of and conceptualized, the people who have put it up, there's this big thing in our constitution, it's called public participation. It's actually a very good thing in that you get to understand what it is that people need. In all this splendor, can I assume rightfully that people were asked and there was sampling and it was determined by those very questionnaires, the sort of thing that people would like to see in an estate? So that by the time it was being put up, it was actually meeting a need that had been expressed by people. So they knew that given what we are putting up, we have this sort of data that points to what it is that people will want. Because your pricing, as you say, is, yes, fairly favorable, if I'm to believe what I've read. Very, very favorable. But then, even if it's favorable, the question is, who exactly did the developers talk to? Who are they targeting? What sort of person?
Okay. The developers are targeting the young families, people who are just starting, also first-time home buyers, and also corporates and investors. Yes.
We can also add that I think another segment of person who would be buying here is also people who are retiring, who are looking at a place where all their conveniences are within walking distance. People who might be investing in a real estate property, whereas there are many universities in proximity, so it's more of an investment opportunity where their own children could also stay here. And of course, we have our diaspora segments who, as Judy's mentioned, will probably form the investor class who want to get rental income but also have this assurance they have some real estate on the ground here in Kenya.
Moses, can I ask you a question? Why did you look at me so pointedly when you used the word retiring?
No, not at all. Maybe that was my subtle sales pitch. As you know, we go a long way back. So.
No, we go a really long way back.
When you're talking to that diaspora markets,
Yes.
what is it that they're looking for?
What is it that?
That they're looking for? It can't be that, I have some extra cash and I want to put it in Kenya for some property. What exactly is it that would attract somebody in the diaspora to purchase a unit in Crystal Rivers?
I think we look at the diaspora segment, and like maybe many of us who are based here, obviously they're very exposed. They're people who are sophisticated. They've seen what an international market like the US and so forth do in real estate. And I think we all know some of the horror stories of diaspora sending money home, where a relative or a friend is supposedly building a house only for them to fly in and find that there's an empty patch of land. So I think one of the things that we're definitely selling here is peace of mind, right? The fact that, it's a credible organization, Safaricom staff pension scheme is, safe. The location, the style of building, I mean, when you look at this setup, it's quite unique. Everything is self-contained. It can be functional for them, so as they come in and out of the country, they know they're within proximity. And obviously down the road, when they're thinking about settling back in Kenya, make an investment like this now, what will this area look like in 2 to 5 to 10 years? This would be a good investment because it'll give them all the amenities, all the comforts, all the logistics that they need. They want to go to the city, they get on the expressway, they're there within 20 minutes. So I think for them, it's about the idea that, the concept of investing back home, and it's particularly in real estate, which is a big investment, you want to put it in the right place.
So do that pitch, all right? We are people in the diaspora, and you're actually pitching for us to make an investment. Not that we're coming to live, not that we're buying so that our family can come and live here. It's as an investment. How do you sell it as an investment?
I think we have to look at some of the elements of what's going on around this area. Athi River is, as you know, industrial, commercial, residential. The road infrastructure has been built. SGR is within proximity. Nairobi Expressway is just down the road. Within this area also you find recreational, educational facilities available. And people generally, I think, are trying to move away from the congested aspects of the city where there's so much real estate for sale, but you don't get the benefits of garden, you don't get the benefits of regular water, which has become a problem in areas. Electricity that's reliable, a place that's secure and safe. Your kids can ride the bicycle without you fearing that something could happen to them. So I think when you look at it, for me, there's so many ticks in terms of all the value adds and the things that you're getting. Therefore, peace of mind. They're getting something that is, in my opinion, heads and shoulders above some of the other real estate investments you might find in this area or other parts of the Nairobi area.
Right.
Are there people who ask you to project the growth in value in terms of percentage? So you're selling to me. I am living outside the country. I don't see myself moving back in the next couple of years, and I'm putting this as an investment, comparing with all the other options for investments that I have. So the thing is, what's the appreciation in value for this one if I compare with the others? What do you answer?
I think if we just speculate here for a second and just think about all the conveniences and the value adds that have been put in this location, my view is that so many things have been considered, so many things have been planned for, that in many ways, you're talking about a brand new location, everything you need is available, but also, like Judy mentioned earlier, the water supply, the electricity, the access is easy. All these value adds, I think, ultimately suggest that this is going to be a property that's going to be appreciating over time. And those who get in now and early will see the investment grow over time.
Right.
I'd rather, Judy, you want to add something to that?
Yes, sorry. Just probably to add and say also it attracts good rental income for any investor. The apartments and the townhouses, like for the apartments now, we are at 40 currently. The townhouses, the 3-bedroom, we're at 52.5 currently, and the 4-bedroom 58.5 currently. So those numbers are quite good for an investor at the moment, and it will keep going up.
So I mean, of course, the big question is then, what's the price tag? I mean, on these, the 3-bedroom townhouses, the 4-bedroom townhouses, the apartments. So then what would somebody have to own one of these?
Okay, the 3-bedroom apartments are going for 6.5. The 3-bedroom townhouses are going for 11 million, and the 4, 12 million. Yes. for one to be able to own one of these, you have to have at least a deposit of 10%, and then the rest of the balance you either talk to your financier or your pension, or your company, however source of how you're planning to finance the house. But at least you as a person, first you have to have your 10% deposit, and then now your finance can
Take us
finance
through
you on the rest.
the stages,
Yeah.
all right? So I'm interested in a unit here. I
Yes.
come and I find unit number E02. I hope it hasn't been bought. The owner shouldn't think that I've identified the house. So unit number E02,
Yes.
all right? And I want to purchase this. What is this? Is this
That's a 4-bedroom
this is a 4-bedroom townhouse,
yes,
2 en suite,
twin suite
okay?
with a DSQ.
With a DSQ.
Yes,
So this particular unit, how much is it going for?
12 million.
Eric comes here, he says, I like this house, it's going for 12 million shillings. Let's start. Take me through that journey up to the moment when I move into the house. What's the first thing that I do? Is there anything like, a commitment fee, like for 5,000 shillings? Niwekee nyumba, wacha niende town, wacha niende even come. Or must I come with 1.2 million shillings for us to start a conversation?
Yes, once you've booked your unit, the next thing is we issue you with a letter of offer. For that letter of offer has to be executed within 14 days through the 10% deposit.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have 14 days to put in the 1.2 million.
Yes.
Okay.
Past that, the unit might fall back on the market for another buyer.
Okay.
So that is the period you're given to make a commitment towards that unit. Once that's done, then the sale process, the next stage comes in for the sale agreement. So depending with your financier, that's what I mentioned earlier, if it's a cash buy, you have 60 days to complete that transaction. And if it's through a mortgage, your bank or your pension, you have 90 days. It takes 90 days to complete that transaction and the sale agreement executed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is between me and the bank and my financier, signing of the charge and all.
Yes.
Do I have to pay legal fees on your side, or am I only paying legal fees for my side?
You have to pay legal fees. Most of the time is both ways, because the vendors, lawyer, advocates have to be paid, since they're the ones carrying the process. And also, of course, also most buyers want to also use their lawyers to do background checks and all that. So you end up paying 2 lawyers.
Okay.
I have to ask this. So, you are saying that this amount you're speaking of doesn't include all these other costs?
Yes, we have something called closing costs, which includes the lawyer's fees, the stamp duty, etc. That is not inclusive of the buying cost.
So if I want this all in one, this self-contained thing that you speak of,
Yes.
how much would that be?
We'll be looking at a figure of around 7.2, let's say, for the apartments.
So the 6 million shilling apartment would now be 7.2.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because of the others, because
because
of
of
the
the
stamp
closing
duty
costs.
Extras, yeah.
particularly,
Yes,
yeah?
the extras.
Yes, because of all these other things.
Yes.
Okay.
At
Which
the
is
end
exclusive.
of this whole process, what do I get? Do I get a title deed? Do I get what do I get?
What's the legal document
proves
that
this
I
is
own
mine?
this thing?
Yeah.
We are issuing sectional titles.
All right.
Yes, the leases.
What's the sectional title? I mean, what is it? I mean, the title bit I get, but the
Yes.
sectional
The
bit.
sectional
Sectional.
bit.
Yes.
Okay, there is the mother title, and because of all these units that have been created, sectional leases or titles come out from the mother title for each and every owner, created from the mother title for each and every owner. So that's what we call sectional.
Okay. Who manages this property? I mean, obviously, there's some people who've already taken up some units. Where does the management of the property lie? Things like, a service charge, making sure that the grounds are, kept neat, and, who handles that? Is it the same developers who've hired a company, or what happens thereafter?
Yes, currently the management company is under the developer. As we continue to sell, they're the ones in charge of taking care of the property and managing the service charge. But once we've sold out and we leave, the residents have the right to come together, form an in-house committee, and manage the property themselves.
So currently, people are paying service charge to the developer.
The management company, yes, and
The
the
management.
developer.
Is it a company established aside from the developer?
Yes, it's an independent.
So can residents take up ownership of that company?
Yes, should
at
they,
any point?
if they're
Like,
happy.
can residents come up together and say, you know what, guys, we want to determine our own future. So yes, we have been paying service charge. The developer is still here. Yes, the developer is still doing what, but we are paying service charge for the services that we are enjoying. Can we come together and say we want 80% ownership of this management company right now, so we start running our own affairs?
Yes, should they wish to retain the current management because they're doing a good job, they can do that. Should they wish to change, the power is in their hands. Yeah.
You know, we're asking that is because we've even seen a big high-profile case about a development company and a management company where they've taken each other to court, with people saying we own the management company, so we own the common areas, and so you shall have to pay according to what we determine is how much you pay to access a swimming pool. And yet I believe that I bought, so I have access to the swimming pool. Where do you draw the lines between the management company and the common areas, the common facilities and amenities, and an individual owner with a sectional title for EO2, Eric Latif?
Okay. For the management company's role basically is to manage the common areas of a property. Anything to do with the inside of your property, that's on you. But the exterior of the property, managing the swimming pool, managing the amenities within the property, that is the responsibility of the management company. That's what they're tasked to do. Yeah, security, garbage collection, maybe servicing of the lifts to make sure that they're working, all that. Lights, CCTV cameras,
Provision of water. and
provision
things
of water, exactly. Anything to do with the amenities and the exterior of the property is
Okay.
under the.
You mentioned some things which are part of this property: the kindergarten, the mall. So taking into consideration
Playground.
the playground, right?
Playground, yeah.
All of that. To whom does that belong? Because then, when all the units are sold, you mentioned that the developer will then evacuate. So, under whose ownership do those facilities fall thereafter?
They belong to the residents, the community.
So then they would own the school, they would own the mall.
No, okay, in terms of usage. Okay, the mall.
The mall is separate, I can imagine. For 12 million shillings, I own a mall.
All of us own them all together. Why
Yeah.
not? Yes.
The mall belongs to the developer, definitely, but the shops will be rented out to, and the residents will get to enjoy the facilities the mall comes with. But the building is owned by the developer.
developer.
The kindergarten as well would be rented out to as a particular somebody who's in that. To a supplier, to a certain supplier, yes. But then the people of the community will get to enjoy that as a facility.
Something I want to ask. A kindergarten, what's the capacity? How many students can it take? The reason why I ask the question is, if you have 389 units,
98.
98, why did I make it 98? It's
98.
89. I flip-flopped
Yes, yes.
I flip-flopped it. And if I take the view that they are, say, each family will have, say, 4 people in it, comes 1,529, I think, something like that.
92. What are you doing with numbers? It's 92.
So
actually.
long as they feature, the order is up to you to sort out. See, I got the 2 and the 9.
Yes.
Now
yes.
flip it if you wish. Anyway, now, then you have a swimming pool. The question I'm asking is, how adequate will these facilities be? Then you have a clubhouse for this number of people. If people are going in and out and using it, it makes sense. But what about a Saturday or a Sunday when everybody's in and everybody wants to use it? Will the facilities be adequate?
That's a good question.
First of all, how many swimming pools are there?
Currently, we have one, but we have green spaces to provision for other.
Okay.
Should need a
another
rise.
swimming-
Should need a
Yes,
rise.
yes, the spaces.
I would
are there.
imagine, even for a kindergarten, let's say 398 homes, how many of those homes have toddlers who need to go to
School.
play group, and so you look at the it'll be a smaller percentage of children who will be at that age of kindergarten, and then those ones now who will be going beyond that from ages 6, 7 upwards, who now access the schools in the neighborhood.
Yes.
And we've talked about very many, including Lukenya Academy, up the road, Kitengela, Nova Pioneer,
Yes.
and very many others. Diamond is also somewhere around.
Yes.
There are many universities as well are here. Daystar is just down the road.
It is.
So when they clear high school, they go to Daystar, and they can be coming here if you want them to come here. Moses, I want to ask you a question, and this is with regards to facilitating somebody in the diaspora to purchase a unit, right? So as Judy says, you book a unit and then you've got 14 days to put in the down payment, and then you've got 60 days or 90 days to finish the transaction. Does that apply also to somebody in the diaspora?
Yes, I believe the sequence of events is essentially the same, but the difference obviously is that it depends on whether the money is domiciled here, because many diaspora people would usually have a local account with the local currency. They're sending maybe a portion of their salary every so often here, or if they're doing it from the US, then they'd have to, send the money through their bank, to the local bank, to facilitate the same. As you mentioned earlier, there's several high-quality banks that are already partners who are able to facilitate the mortgages and other financing schemes, and more importantly, they're there to provide a credible way of making sure the transaction is done in the right way. So there is no problem. We are ready to serve diaspora. We are able to essentially acquire their funds for the acquisition, and there will be no problem in terms of how they can go about that. And of course, the peace of mind that it's actually going to where it's supposed to go.
In fact, that was going to be my second question. I still want to come back to that peace of mind. Many in the diaspora, like you've said, have now stopped sending money to their relatives to construct for them a house. So they went into companies, and then they realized those are bigger sharks. Companies where you have sent money and they sent you this beautiful, lovely brochure and told you, we have this house that's coming up, and the next thing, nothing. Right? So what is it that you sell that distinguishes and makes this developer stand out from the other developers who are fly-by-night, briefcase developers and all?
I think first of all, let's look at who's behind it, right? It's a Faricom staff pension scheme. Yeah, this is a very credible organization. They're part of one of the largest companies in the region. So these
One
are
of?
yes, one of the largest companies in the region.
The largest. That's what I'm going to.
Yeah.
Not one of. It is the. Is there any other larger than Safaricom? Not really. But anyway, go on.
So let's see who's behind it, right? The planning that went into this. It's meticulous. You can see the effort that has gone to create something quite unique. The other thing that you find is that we are sitting on site at a real place. You can come here, buy a house, buy an apartment, and move in tomorrow, right? Now, in many of those instances, what we saw was websites that had renders that looked like real homes, and after 2 years of making your payments or your contributions, you land on site and you find something is on ground level. Right? We are here, you can move in tomorrow. And this is a very interesting thing we see online when we're running our ads on Facebook and Google and all. They ask, is it off plan? Is it off plan? Because you can already feel there's this fear and doubt going by past precedents that sometimes things are not quite what they seem. So we are telling them, come over to site, come and see Judy, come to the office. We'll take you on a tour, place your deposit. In fact, just the other day, Judy, I recall somebody came through Facebook and they were like, I'm on the road, I'll be there in an hour. Then they wrote a message on Facebook, we're here.
We're here.
And you see that reassurance of knowing that you're not at a fictional real estate development, but you can come in, you can look at a particular room, a particular house, and they'll take you to it. So I think that's one of the biggest selling points. You're not buying a ghost house, you're buying a real house. And it is here on the ground, ready for occupation.
Okay. One of the things also is that looking at the ground staff who are here at this point where there's still, many would call a transitionary period before handing over to the residents, ground staff then are hired and maintained by the developer at that point? Or how does that work exactly?
They are under the management company.
Okay.
Yes, so the management company also is the one that, even cleaning, all that stuff, whatever needs to be done, it's controlled under the management company.
Okay.
Yes.
And when does the school open? When does the kindergarten open for business, basically?
Before the end of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so come January, we can say, hopefully they'll be rolled out.
Okay.
Yeah.
What next after the pension scheme finishes with this project?
There are plans to do other projects.
Okay.
Those plans are still ongoing. They're still, in the oven. So I can't speak much about that now, but in due time, we'll be able to talk about that and when the time is right.
I asked that because with the development of this project, they've already established some credibility, right? And there are people now who would not be asking Moses the kind of questions, is it off plan? There are actually people who would be saying, all right, who is it? Safaricom staff pension? Okay, I already know. I have a unit, or my brother or friend bought a unit and I know that they are dependable. I can now start putting in a down payment in the next project if it's already been announced. So I think the moment they do that, you'll have an easier time.
Yes.
Because it's here, it's something that you can see, we can all see. There's a project that's on ground, there's a project that's already complete. There are houses that are here, they are complete. We are talking about how many units are now up for sale, how many have been bought, and how many are up for sale.
Okay, we are total 65% sold. The townhouses, the 3 bedrooms we are almost sold out on that. We just have very few left. On the apartment side, we have quite a number that we are really trying to push now, but overall 65% sold.
That's a good number.
Over what period of time? Okay, let me ask a different question. What was the target? By what sort of time period do you hope to have sold all? Of course, all things being
When do you
equal.
see yourselves exiting this site?
He's always asking the controversial questions, isn't he?
Okay, we're looking at least next year. Next year, yeah.
Next year.
Yes.
As we conclude then, Judy, maybe you can just mention some of the financial partners that you're working with. Somebody is interested in purchasing today and they'd like to go to a bank, and that bank should already know Crystal Rivers, okay. Not going to a bank that asks, Ati Crystal?
Ati iko wapi?
Where?
So which current financial partners do you have a partnership with?
Okay, we do have NCBA, we do have ABSA, Stanbic Bank, SBM, and COP Bank.
So many banks already know about this.
Yes, many banks.
You go to any of them and
Yes.
you can access a mortgage.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Judy Muiruri is a sales and marketing manager at Crystal Rivers Mall and Residences. Moses Kemibaro, founder and CEO of Dotsavvy. Dotsavvy is providing
Can I say one last thing?
one last thing.
One
You
last
said it.
thing. You know, like Steve Jobs used to say, one last thing. The most important thing, I think, for anyone who's looking to make an investment in this area or real estate is come see it for yourself. All right? Rather than speculate, come and see, touch and feel, look at the finishes, look at the quality, and then make a decision. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Moses. Thank you very much. We are still here. We're still conducting the rest of the show right from location. We are at Crystal Rivers Mall and Residences, right off the Mombasa Highway at the bridge, at the
Sup
Athi
your
River
life.
Bridge. We've been here since 6 a.m. We'll still be here. This is Kenya's biggest conversation, the Situation Room, live on Spice FM, on KTN, and online. Keep it here. It's now 9 a.m. Let's get the news.